morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we're going to have a little bit of a chat about a brand new Jolteon. Now, we knew we were getting a Jolteon, because over the last kind of week or so, I've shown you a new Flareon, I've shown you a new Vaporeon, and both the Flareon and the Vaporeon were particularly good at helping out Evolution GXs. So we are expecting this new Flareon to help out Evolution GXs, and ladies and gentlemen, we are not disappointed. Now, our translation here comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet, a particular favourite of ours on this channel. And if we start off having a little bit of a look at the basics here, we can see that it's got 100 HP. 100 HP is kind of low. We don't love that. That's even lower than Flareon and Vaporeon. Boo! And it's also got a retreat cost of 1, which on the one hand does open up U-turn board. And on the other hand, it's Jolteon? Why doesn't Jolteon have free retreat? I mean, the really nice Jolteon that just came out in Hidden Fates with a lovely ability, free retreat. The Jolteon with a nice ability from Ancient Origins, free retreat. Jolteon EX, free retreat. Jolteon GX, free retreat. I'm not being ungrateful for a retreat cost of 1, but it should have free retreat because it's a Jolteon. Now, the weakness to fighting, we do not like a Buzzwole with a Diancie Prism Star. We'll get a straight one-hit KO, which just straight up sucks. And we've got a resistance to Metal. Metal isn't seeing a huge amount of play right now, and they're going to be weak to things like Reshiram and Charizard, so we don't expect that to change anytime soon. Still nice to have a resistance, though. And we're a Lightning type. Being a Lightning type is awesome. That means Electro Power to do a bit of extra damage. That means Thunder Mountain Prism Star to reduce your attack cost. That means Tapu Koko Prism Star to accelerate a little bit of energy. Yay! But really here, and there is an attack, and the attack's alright, we'll get to the attack. But really here, we are worried about the ability, and like I said, going along with the theme we've seen from these evolutions from Sun and Moon 12A, we've got a Pokemon that really likes Evolution GXs. So, what does it do? Well, the ability here says, as long as this Pokemon is in play, the attacks of your Pokemon GX that evolve from Eevee cost 1 less colourless energy. And just like we saw with the others, this ability does not stack. If it did stack, you could play an energyless deck and it would be amazing. But it would also be kind of stupid and broken and dumb. We don't want it to stack. Stacking would literally be too good. So what you're doing is you're reducing the attack cost of each evolution by 1. And you know what? That's really good. We like reducing the attack cost of our evolutions. It makes us pretty gosh darned happy. Now, I did do videos on the Vaporeon and the Flareon. I'll link them in the description. But the long short of this is that Umbreon has rotated out. You've got it in Expanded. Espeon has rotated out. You've got it in Expanded. Leafeon is still tournament legal, but is not particularly good. It means you can use a GX attack for 1 grass energy, because remember, it decreases the cost by 1 colourless energy. So I suppose you wouldn't really be able to play much of a colourless deck, but you could at least play it with like a few rainbow energy, and it would be quite cool. But the point is here, Leafeon GX isn't particularly good. Oh, and Sylveon GX has also rotated out, which is actually legitimately quite annoying, because we love Magical Ribbon searching for any free cards. It would be really cool if we could use Fairy Wind for just a fairy and a colourless energy, not have to muck around with double colourless. But hey-ho. So in terms of things that are still tournament legal and are still potentially at least tournament relevant, we've got Glaceon GX, and then we've got the Generation 1 EVs, our Flareon, our Vaporeon, and our Jolteon. So let's have a look through and see which ones of these can really benefit from having their attack cost reduced by 1. Now, one I absolutely love, and I think this might be the best option here, is Jolteon GX. I absolutely adore this with Jolteon GX. You see, Jolteon GX is an efficient attacker. 1 energy, 30 to the active, 30-20 your opponent's bench. 2 energy, either 110 or as a GX attack, 110, and you've got immunity the following turn. That's kind of cool. But what's super awesome here is that they're for a lightning and a colourless. So now all of a sudden, Headbolt is 110 for a single lightning energy. Although let's not forget we've also got Thunder Mountain here, so it can literally be 110 for nothing. Literally nothing. You can attack for free, which is brilliant. And then you've got Electro Power to add to the damage that you're doing. So I think Jolteon GX here is great. You turn it into a single energy 110 on a free retreat Pokemon that can boost up the damage if need be. I cannot be the only one that thinks that sounds kind of cool. Now we do also have Flareon, and I like Flareon here a lot as well. Now the first attack, 30 damage for 1 energy, attach free from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like, meh, fine. It's not going to benefit from Jolteon. But the second attack is 190 for 2 fire and a colourless, discard 2 fire. And Welder is a thing. And I adore this with Welder. Like, proper job, full on adore this with Welder. Because now all of a sudden, Bright Flame does 190 damage for a Welder. You play Welder, do 190, all the energy falls off, and then next turn, you do 190. For a Welder, and you just keep rolling with that. It's really, really nice. I adore this. Now, the problem is that we've got other really good fire Pokemon, like, for instance, Reshiram and Charizard, or Heatran GX, and this is a Stage 1 that really revolves on a Stage 1, and they both evolve from Eevee. Usual note here that we don't have the Energy Evolution Eevee, Boohiss, etc. But yeah, it's kind of a pain, if I'm honest with you, because there's kind of 2 bench spaces, and it's probably, 4 absolute minimum, probably nearer kind of 6 to 8 spaces in your deck. But if you look at the other fire Pokemon that are attacking for 2 energy, there's just no real comparison. Volcanion does 110. Heatran, for 3 energy, does 130. 190 for 2 energy, okay, fine, it's on a Stage 1. That's still pretty gosh darn good. The Arcanine from Unbroken Bonds is a great card, which can do 190 for 4 energy. And these really are the 2 that I'm looking at here. Being able to use Flareon for a Welder or Jolteon for a single energy, I think that's where this new Jolteon shines. And let's not forget that we also got the Jolteon from Hidden Fates that also has free retreat, and as long as it's your active Pokemon, whenever your opponent attaches an energy from their hand to their Pokemon, you put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. And yes, Welder attaches from hand, so they do take the damage counters there. I'm starting to really like Jolteon. Like, all 3 of these Jolteon that we've got right now are looking pretty nice to me. Although this one really is a sit on the bench and help kind of Jolteon, rather than a sitting on the front line kind of Jolteon. I do worry that you're 2-hit KOing too much, and you'll be 1-hit KO'd by too many tag teams, but I still really like the look of it. Now, the other option we've got here, well, are a couple. We've got Vaporeon. Now, Vaporeon's fine, except the ability heals 30 from your active water Pokemon, and the attack does 40 base with 30 more for each water energy attached to Vaporeon. So you can use it for 2 water energy, but you're also taking 30 damage off. If you're going to play this as an attacker, you're really using Naganadel and Quagsire, and you're not worried about reducing the energy cost, you're worried about piling water energy on. So I'm not loving that so much. Glaceon I like a little bit more. The ability blocks the abilities, or turns off the abilities of EX and GX Pokemon, and you would essentially do 90 to the active, 30 to the bench, for a water and a colourless energy. But I do think Flareon and Jolteon are where you're really getting the value here. And let's not forget that we've also got Vaporeon that gives you an extra 60 HP, and Flareon, which means your attacks do an extra 30. So if we put these all together onto, say, Jolteon, then you're doing 140 for a single energy on a 260 HP Pokemon. That's pretty awesome. Put these together with Flareon, and all of a sudden, you're doing 220 for just a welder on a 270 HP Pokemon. You kind of need to commit here, which is a bit of a pain. But make no mistake about it, these EVs are very powerful, and if you can get all three of these new EVs out, then the EVGXs become really, really good. And do remember that EV and EVGX have different names, so you do have 8 Pokemon from which they can evolve, rather than the usual 4. Do remember also that one of them has 160 HP and gives up 2 prizes. You have been warned. Now, as for the attack, I'm going to be honest with you, right? We're not terribly excited about the attack. 70 damage for 2 energy. Fine. Remember, the abilities here only work on the GXs. It's not bad. It's not offensive. I'm not mad. I'm just underwhelmed, frankly. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty then, so that is a new Jolteon. I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 Wassies. I really do think that lowering the attack cost is amazing. I'm worried that we're not going to get any more EVGXs, which makes me a little bit sad, but I do think that for what it does, it's really quite good. But I'd like to know what you think about it, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.